Why God allows bad things to happen to good people and for extreme negativities to exist. Welcome, I'm Nikki Sutton. Thank you so much for joining me today. So these are just my humble intuitions here as usual. So if God is good, why do bad things happen? Why do evil people exist? Why isn't our reality just a bed of roses with only positivity? Well, it's the nature of experience in this reality anyway. This level that we're at is full of duality, full of polarity. In higher stages of existence, there will be more love and light and perfection. If everything was perfect and wonderful, yes, that would be an experience in itself. But there wouldn't be the catalyst for growth, for example, your own suffering and overcoming that, and how to overcome that, and finding light in the darkness. This is great evolution for our souls on an individual soul level. Imagine you'd never had such an experience. You would only know the good and not know what the negative was like, therefore you wouldn't recognize the good as being so wonderful. You might take it for granted. So you might say, I definitely appreciate it if I was living in heavenly conditions. But would you really though if you hadn't experienced the opposite? I'm not advocating for negative things happening in our reality. I'm just trying to explain the nature of reality. So if you're experiencing only the good, you're only getting half the picture. And in terms of learning and experience for our soul, half the picture is not the full spectrum of experience for our evolution. So if everything was rosy and heavenly in this reality, how would we learn compassion and how to help someone or how to help others and when it's needed and what to do? We wouldn't fully develop those emotions because no one would be in need, and being fine and dandy would be taken for granted. We wouldn't learn how to triumph over strife and what that feels like to be in strife and how to emerge out of that. And we wouldn't learn how to experience love for others even during hardship and to find that light in the darkness. So in a way, this level of experience here in this third density is kind of necessary, and logically it kind of makes sense. Otherwise, every pinpoint of consciousness, every soul would only be partially developed. You see, if we take the view that we are one with God or creation or source, whatever name you prefer, that God is not a man with a beard sitting on a cloud, it doesn't resemble a human being. God or creation would be one infinite being that is everyone and everything. The energy that runs through absolutely everything, that's its intelligent energy, its blood if you like. That everything you see around you, the rocks, the flowers, the trees, the animals, the people, the mountains, the sky, the air, well you can't see air, but you know what I mean, the water, etc. On the most fundamental level, it's all energy, intelligent energy, intelligently organizing itself, its atoms into molecules and into greater things. And some of those portions of energy have gathered consciousness about them to more or lesser degrees and become very conscious and aware. That being, humans and also animals and even plants display a certain level of consciousness. For example, the bit of potato I put into my compost bin, which sought out the light through a small hole in the side and grew out through the hole. That was pretty clever indeed, displaying some level of consciousness there. But anyway, so from God's point of view, or creation's point of view, we are it, part of it. Therefore, it's kind of creation's decision to have all these things happening. And perhaps creation has made the choice to have, at this level of existence anyway, a lot of duality or polarity that exists for our learning and experience. And because we are a pinpoint of consciousness, each of us within the whole, within creation or God, all our experiences are God's experiences. We each are endowed with free will and our own ways of doing things. Each of us is very unique and therefore provides unique experience, each of us, for the whole, for God or creation. So many have quite a rosy picture of God in their minds, that God is only good. And I do believe this, that the truth is love and light. And the challenge is that each of us has to find our way back to that truth of love and light, understanding oneness and unity. So it seems a bit mean that we have to go through all these horrible trials and tribulations, that horrible, greedy, manipulative people exist that potentially are controlling us within this reality, that illnesses happen, horrible bugs and parasites exist, natural disasters, deprivation, poverty, all of this horrible stuff. Gosh, it seems so incredibly unfair. How can God even do that? But perhaps God isn't all rosy and loving and perfect, and obviously these things are allowed to exist. Why would that be? Well, my intuition says for our learning and experience. Again, why would that be? Perhaps for our soul's overall expansion and growth, because without the negative we wouldn't understand either the negative or the positive. Therefore we wouldn't be as wise as we would be. When we eventually go over to the other side, we might look back at our lifetime, and if it's been exceptionally hard, we examine what's gone on and learn a lot from it, all our experiences. And finding ourselves safe and well on the other side, we realize that, in the end we are safe and well. What horrible experiences we had, but for the soul it's all learning and experience, and imagine the wisdom that brings. So from a human point of view, it seems very unfair, and nobody deserves to have horrible things happen to them or horrible experiences. From this point of view, from this vantage point, it's horribly unfair. It's unpleasant, and many people's lifetimes are extremely unpleasant. But from the other side, as you can see, it's a different point of view, a different attitude. Healing is done on the other side to help heal from these experiences, and after that, it's all wisdom contributing to the amount of compassion we would have for others and ourselves, the amount of love we have for others and ourselves. So it's part of our evolution and growth in terms of fostering those higher vibrations, because through witnessing the hardship of others and experiencing it ourselves, we have more love and compassion for others and ourselves, and that ultimately is what God or creation wants, for us to find our way back to love, not just in one lifetime necessarily, but we can, but over many, many lifetimes, we figure it out, the truth of that higher vibration, which is creation or God. So although God might allow us to go through all sorts of hardships, ultimately it's so that we can find our way back to truth and love, which is the truth of God or creation, which God or creation or source actually wants and knows is the truth, actually aims for, actually perhaps longs for. And we each are helping creation to get back to that truth. And so we might really resent God when we go through horrible times or witness suffering, but I might suggest that God is rather impartial at this level of existence, not looking from the human point of view, but from the overall point of view of our soul and its expansion and growth and ascension. And I believe we're moving into a stage of existence where all this duality, that's oneness, split into, good and bad, or happy or sad, or hot and cold, or fast or slow. These are the poles that we swing between, as in the Hermetic principle of polarity. So in this stage of existence, it exists, but it'll no longer be needed as we ascend, because we've learned those lessons, and if we've learnt them well, our ascension is accelerated. We get there. We get to the next stage of existence, which is the vibration of love, light and understanding, the fourth density, or 5D, corresponding with the heart chakra. So it's best to learn these lessons well on a soul level and move towards unity, oneness, peace and understanding. Okay, so I hope that's been useful in some way in understanding the nature of the universe. I don't have all the answers, of course, just my humble intuitions to share. And remember to pick up a copy of my book, Consciousness Rising, Guiding You Through Spiritual Awakening and Beyond, available at most bookstores. And if you like, you can support this channel and other work that I do, such as my guided meditation channel, via Patreon. The link is in the description. And then I can bring you more content like this. And I'm offering one-to-one online sessions too, and you can check those out at nikkisutton.com. Thank you so much for listening, sending lots of love and all the best. And remember to click subscribe if you're not already a subscriber to receive regular spiritual inspiration on your journey through life. And hit that bell button too for notifications, because we're raising the mass vibration together. So go now in love and peace.